Vice Chair, how about that? So I mean, we're gonna get out here pretty early. We're gonna run. So with that. Meeting has now come to order. And as you know, we will not be voting on anything tonight. Even if it is a recommendation, we have to carry that over into our next meeting, so we have to move on. Okay? So, with that, this is our Tuesday meeting, July the 1st, 2025. And we're starting at 5:07. Roll call as myself, staff, roll.
Yes, roll call, Councilmember King Meredith.
Here.
And Councilmember. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. We're gonna start on our item 2 with public comments. If there are any, will you please, present yourself here, 2 minutes. Okay, 2 minutes, and also that stands for our people on Zoom also.
Okay.
2 minutes, okay?
Can we stand here?
Yes, and yes, and please state your name.
Sure.
For everyone. Can you see the back to them? On Zoom? Do you want them to come to the side?
Which way?
Okay, you got a little.
Okay, sure.
Bring the table just a little bit aside. On Zoom, so they can kind of feel who you are. They don't want to see.
Okay.
Sure, okay, there you go, now, thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Bayer Malinov. I'm the project manager at Community Housing Development Corporation, and I'll let Sandra introduce herself.
And I'm Sandra Reeder. I'm the property supervisor at Eden Housing.
And today, we have a brief overview of the Legacy Court Affordable Housing Development. This project is a joint venture between Community Housing Development Corporation and Eden Housing. So the project will be located at 1243, 1300, and 1329 Fred Jackson Way. The project will bring 43 units to the neighborhood. 42 of those are affordable 1, 2, and 3 bedrooms. The units for those units will be for the households earning between 30 and 60% of the area median income. 13 of the units will be set aside for individuals experiencing homelessness, at risk of being homelessness, and for those who are in need of the mental health services. And I will pass to Sandra to provide an update about the upcoming waitlist opening.
Okay, so we are targeted to open our wait list on July 14th. It will be open from July 14th through August 1st. If you were on an interest list that you provided to Eden or even to CHCD. Yeah, sorry, I always say it wrong.
Just stand up a little bit. Yeah.
Right there.
So they,
And they've also provided us with their internal wait list, and we've already sent out an email blast to everyone that was on those interest lists to let them know that it is opening on July 14th. There's a QR code that you would scan, and it would take you directly to Rent Cafe, where you would apply online for the property.
And just to add to that, so CHDC will be offering assistance with helping out submit the applications. They are going to be online. There are 2 applications, which would be with the Housing Authority, and then the one that Eden Housing will be managing. And then we have a package prepared with all of the information. It's right on the table, and then I leave my business card. So if you have any questions, you can feel free to reach out to me or Sandra.
And just FYI, the Housing Authority's waitlist opened yesterday for this property and for some other properties that they're opening the wait list for. So you might want to make sure that you not only just apply on their wait list, but also apply on our wait list. The more, the better. So theirs opened yesterday, and I believe theirs closes July 24th.
24th, yes.
And I think Tony will be on later to go over that, but theirs did open yesterday. So you want to make sure that you go onto the Housing Authority wait list and also apply there. And then when ours opens, apply on ours as well.
Okay, that's clear. Are there any questions? Here's one. Yes.
I'm Joanna Griffith. I'm the Assistant Director of Real Estate Development for CHDC. So we're gonna be setting up sites in North Richmond, for folks who don't have access to a computer or need assistance with completing the online application. And that's part of the packet that's going to be distributed tonight. And so we'll have, I think we have like 4 or 5 locations throughout the North Richmond community, because we want to make sure that North Richmond residents have, access to the county.
Yes. And thank you, Joanna. I didn't know you were going to be that elaborate, but I would have had you to come there for, but I know. Okay. Yes. Yes.
Madam Chair, I'll get some, I'll get the packet to make sure that everybody's here while you sit and get a copy, get the packet, because the Housing Authority opened up yesterday.
Yeah.
And we want people, and it's already been stated, but we want people to go in and apply for that right away, and you have to do that online. So we have a packet right here, and I'm gonna give it to everybody in here, and we'll leave some here at the site. And it also have the dates that they can go out and get help at the location, the date, the time, who to ask for when they go in. So, it's a complete little packet. And it has information about CHUC and Eaton application also, which comes later in the month.
And just one other thing, you mentioned the website was, what was the website other than CHBC? Once they go on and start filling out the application, you called it.
Oh, so they're, on the flyer that we provided has a QRS code, and they just will scan that, and that will take them to the website where they can, it'll take them to Red Cafe for them
That's
to
it,
apply.
Red Cafe.
They'll need to set up an account with them to apply.
Okay, that's why I wanted them, so I don't want anybody going online and say, oh, this says Red Cafe, and it'll say anything about e-house and CHBC.
Yes, Red Cafe.
I just want to make that clear, because if somebody go on, they say, oh, this is not the website, I want to make sure that that was part of the red.
Right, and I'm sure it will be identified as Legacy Court, so it'll be identified.
Okay, very good.
I have a question. So you said that there are 2 applications, and so, so people that are applying need to do both applications.
What I mentioned is the housing authorities opened yesterday. So a lot of applicants may want to apply there as well as apply on our end. We're offering units as well that won't have a project base behind it. But just in case they don't qualify maybe for the project-based units, they would qualify on our end. So we don't want someone just to apply on one and not the other. It's a good idea to apply for both.
And so, Red Cafe will have both of those, or
They're separate. So that's what I was saying is the housing authority opened yesterday and theirs closes on the 24th. So people can go onto their website and set up an account to apply for, they have a list of like 16 properties that I believe their wait list is open for. They can apply for whichever ones they want to. My point was that we also opened ours on the 14th. Ours aren't project, our wait list isn't for the project-based units. They're just, I believe ours, are there 60?
43 units sold.
Yeah.
25.
What's the set aside on ours though? Ours is probably 60, huh? I'm trying to remember.
It's 43 minus 25.
No, the AMI.
They might from between 30 and 60%.
So our wait list, the residents would qualify for either 30 to 60% of their annual income. And so we have some, so in case they don't qualify for the project base, then they would be on our wait list too. So it's good just to apply for them.
and you're, okay.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Thank you. Do we have anybody Online, we do, okay, and when they're, they do not walk off, come a little closer so they can see on the screen, I was telling, yeah, because you're in the background, you have to come up a little bit.
I like being in the background.
Okay, you want me to call the?
Yeah, call them out.
So I'll, Ryan and then Joel.
Hi, Tanya. Is this for public comment or questions for the last presentation? Because I have public comment. I don't have any questions per se.
Okay, yes, this is public comments for now.
Okay. Yeah, great. Good evening, North Richmond MAC members and members of the public. My name is Ryan Lau, External Affairs Representative at AC Transit, which is the bus agency that serves basically all of the East Bay, including North Richmond and the city of Richmond. Over the course of the last 2 years, we've been reviewing and updating our bus service network based on a variety of different planning efforts, public outreach, and it's intended to basically better adapt the service to the needs of our riders in the post-pandemic era. And so we are looking to go live with the new realigned bus network on August 10th. So that's in the very near future. And we will be posting information about exactly what that network looks like the end of this week, latest early next week. So you'll start to see realigned service changes on the website at www.actransit.org/realign. But we'll also be doing a variety of announcements like the one that I'm doing now. I have one at the Richmond Council later this evening. And then we'll also be doing a lot of outreach via information on the buses themselves. We'll be doing some BART advertising at the BART stations. We'll be pushing out digital e-news and social media posts. And we're also going to have ambassadors at a variety of the different locations throughout the service area. So again, it's going live on August 10th. And we encourage that everybody here stays connected with us. Again, actransit.org/realign. You can also go to our main website and sign up for e-news subscriptions as well. And we will also be pushing out information via an e-news from myself, I think early next week. So happy to answer any questions if there are any. Otherwise, please stay connected. Thanks.
There won't be any questions. We're gonna let it down for 2 minutes, but if they do, they will contact you from the information that you just presented. Thank you so very much. Again, the next speaker online, 2 minutes.
Hi, everyone. Hi, community. My name is Joelle Tony, and I work with the Bay Area Air District and the Community Steering Committee for AB 617, which is about cleaning the air. I wanted to invite everyone to our July 28th community workshop on Just Transition. Just Transition is basically our transition away from fossil fuels to a regenerative economy. This workshop is going to have workshops and speakers. Everyone is invited to attend and participate. We will have food provided. It'll be July 28th from 5:30 to 7:30 at the Rise Center. I will put my contact information in the chat if anyone has any questions, but look forward to having everyone who's interested participate. Thank you.
I don't see, does anyone want to see? I don't see a hand.
Okay, so I guess that's all of our comments, public comments online. Okay. Well, thank you so very much for your public comments. We're on our agenda. Law enforcement. So we were having our sheriff to come forward. Right at the speakers, gentlemen. That's what they give us, and hear you. I don't want to hear you.
All right, I'm Lieutenant Brian Fitzgerald, work for the Sheriff's Office. Deputy Ironman, he's one of our new Paul units for North Richmond. You want to introduce yourself?
Yes, guys, hello. My name is Deputy Kevin Ironman. I'm the new North Richmond resident deputy. I'll be working, to help, with trash mitigation and, just making the community better. So I have 11 years in law enforcement and, kind of worked all throughout the county, but this is my favorite spot to work. So here we are.
All right, so last month, North Richmond had a total of 357 calls for service. Some of the highlights, would have been, there was a homicide on, the 11th, 500 block of Market. There was an assault with a deadly weapon on the 3rd. 2 instances of domestic violence, 1 of child abuse. And then there was, both misdemeanor and felony vandalism, as well as a grand theft, for a total of 19 reports generated for North Richmond. So, any questions about anything?
Hey, do you want to have any questions for the sheriffs? As they just presented their data, we have any in the audience, or, yes, Jean?
Madam Chair, I think we need to, welcome our new mitigation deputy, and I think he probably mentioned that to us, but he's no stranger to us.
Oh, that's why I didn't introduce him, he know me well, but anyway, yeah,
Because he is our new mitigation deputy, so you might want to
yeah.
introduce yourself and talk about it. We're happy to have him. We're so glad that he got the position because he knows the ropes.
Right.
So,
Thank you. Thank you for your faith in me. I super appreciate it. Like I said, super excited to be here and thank you guys again. Yeah, we're not strangers, but this is a new part of my career. It's gonna be good and I'm really excited to, work with, Kalu and Chick coming up with new programs and different things to, make the community better. Some of the things we were kind of talking about was maybe coming up with some veterans programs, maybe like a program for the youth. Maybe kind of come out and do like a mini explore program kind of things, just things we were kind of just talking about today. And then obviously working on, illegal dumping and, reducing the illegal dumps and, providing information out to the community so that, they can get the resources that they need for, getting rid of, trash items.
Well, welcome again, and were there anyone else?
I think last month you had a question about the substation and what we're gonna be doing with
Well,
it.
that's the sheriff. Yeah, for the sheriff and CH.
yeah, so last month, I think I probably am the one who asked the question about the substation. And, now that we got our new mitigation deputy, he is already there and some of the other deputies were there today. And I talked to CHP last week. And CHP said that they plan to get somebody out there as soon as possible, so we should have CHP and the sheriff in there. They won't be in there every day, they're only in there certain days, because they have their other duties that they have to do, so they won't just be sitting around in the station all day. But they will be occupying the station from time to time. But, CHP will be coming aboard soon.
And I know at one time that, well, in the past, it was, the CHP was very limited with their, with their sheriff, being, officers being around. It was because of the travel from Oakley and just part, East County, West County, Central, it wasn't that many, it was a wide area, a few officers that cover that area, so. From my understanding, it seems like they hired individuals to be, or they feel limited on,
I think they're still limited, but that's a different agency, so I can't speak for them.
But that was, when you reported out, that was one of the things that we were missing, our CHP. Okay, well, thank you for the information, thank you for bringing it forth, and thank you all. Did we have anybody on Zoom for questions for our Officer? No. I thought, well, I'm seeing things too.
Well, Cindy asked for their names, but I'm gonna type it in for her.
Okay, so it's no one,
I don't see any questions.
no questions? Okay, well, we're gonna keep it on. Okay, thank you so very much and welcome aboard.
Thank you so
And
much.
thank you for bringing them in, okay, and recording now. Very well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Take care.
Okay, I did it. And, that's the Fourth of July, you know, I gotta be trying to tell y'all that when y'all come up in and walk out, okay?
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Happy 4th of July.
Okay. All right, so, do we have Richmond PD?
I don't see anyone. I did put the request, so
Okay.
hopefully I can get
They
there.
don't think they can do much, that's okay. Okay, well, thank you. So the next item, it's our presentation from Chevron. Okay, so may our presenters please come forward and, just in our audience, we have one of our former, MAC members that was very instrumental here. This Andrea, and that's my daughter's name, Andrea Bailey, is here. Thank you for coming. Okay.
Right, go.
Yes, and if we get close to the mic, so they can hear you also clear.
Hit the spot here.
Yeah, well, yeah,
Well,
so that's so they can hear you. They don't want anything like they can't hear you and all that.
it's that. Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Brian Hubbinger. I'm the Corporate Affairs Manager at Chevron Richmond across the way. It's a pleasure to be here. It's been too long. The legend Andrea Bailey is here. For those of you that know her, he's been in the community for a long time. But you're stuck with me giving the presentation. Andrea will throw stuff at me if I get something wrong, but we have a good group of external affairs folks at the refinery. Hopefully you know them. Andrea is one of them. Lily Ranema is in the community as well. And Hakeem Johnson does a lot of stuff in Richmond, and myself and a few others, Veronica Robles and Caitlin Powell, kind of round out our team. But it's a pleasure to be here today. Like I said, we've been for a long time. We were here just about every meeting, and we fell off, I think, in COVID, and we want to try to kick that back up. But a little bit about myself. I'm on my 19th year with Chevron, just about all of them here in Richmond, at a short stint across the way at what used to be our corporate headquarters. But my passion is here in Richmond. I love it here. I love the community. I love the people within Chevron that come to work every day to move the Bay Area with the energy we provide. And I love the community in which we operate in, engaging in the neighborhoods, understanding what's important to everybody, and finding a path forward that rises the community in which we work. And so that's our goal. And we thought today we'd go over, there's a lot of ground to cover. We'll touch a little bit of it, certainly open to questions afterwards. But maybe go to the next slide. And promise it won't do too much death by PowerPoint, but what's the size of the prize? What does it take? I'm constantly, in almost 20 years, I still can't quite get my head around the size and scale of the energy infrastructure that it takes to move California. And there's some pretty big numbers up here. 315 billion gallons or vehicle miles traveled. We love our cars in California. A little bit of a glare, but we're the largest, as a state, we're the largest consumer of jet fuel in the country. We're the second largest consumer of gasoline. In 2022, which was the last year of record, 3.1 billion gallons of diesel were sold. So all the trucks that move the goods from the ports to your house, if you ever got an Amazon package, that's getting those packages there in 48 hours or less sometimes. And 31 million motor vehicles on the road. So that's a lot. It's a lot of stuff. And our refinery is part of the equation to keep all of those things moving, our operations. So just a little bit of stage setting there. We'll go to the next slide. So what is our part of that? The refinery makes about 60% of the jet fuel that's used in the Bay Area. So think San Jose to Sacramento. Odds are pretty good that if you've ever been on an airplane, it's flown on jet fuel that comes from the Richmond facility. Sorry. And about a fifth or 20% of the gasoline that's sold in Northern California comes from our facility as well. We're also somewhat unique in the sense that we make what's called a lubricating base oil. So you buy that quart of oil, you go to get your oil changed at the garage. The base part, or 80 to 99% of what you buy in that quart of oil, is made here in Richmond. And we're the only producer of that kind of oil on the West Coast. All the other plants are east of the Mississippi or overseas. So that's from a product standpoint, kind of where we fit in. And then we just recently asked an entity called Oxford Economics, a very reputable firm. And there's one of the flyers on the chair is a newsletter that kind of goes over this. And we said, what is our economic impact of our facility, right? It's not foreign to folks that, we have a lot of people working there. We make a lot of products. We do a lot of things happen because of our facility. But let's try to quantify that a little bit. And so we commissioned this report. We asked Oxford Economics to do this. And no surprise, we're still, since for a century now, we've been the largest employer and taxpayer in the city of Richmond. About 3,800 direct and indirect jobs are supported by our facility. And all the economic activity that happens in West County, so this side of the tunnel, not just Richmond, but West County, is over $1 billion a year in economic activity. That's a pretty big number. I think it's close to 5% of GDP of the area, the gross domestic product, which is a measure of general economic activity. One of the most impressive things, I think, is the job multiplier. And so it's not just Chevron jobs. It's not just what we do in our facility. It's how we support the community through our procurement and business relationships. And so for every 10 jobs that Chevron has, there's 5 more in the community that Chevron supports, Chevron's operations support. And those employees are well paid. They're 56% compensation higher than the regional average. And what that breaks down is to 1 in every 29 jobs in West County is supported or directly attributable to our operations in Chevron. So it's a big responsibility, a big component of being a part of this community. We have a lot of initiatives, and we'll talk about in a little bit, try and make sure those opportunities are here in West County, and support local procurement, support local restaurants, support local suppliers. And so we're really focused on that. So the flyer that's on your share, we'll go over a little bit more in detail. And this all comes down to, our focus inside the fence, which is, running safely and reliably. That's the key that we focus on every day. It's the utmost priority. We're heavily regulated. Over 36 agencies oversee our operations, various components of it. We had the Air District here last month, and they're pretty much on site every day. Multiple inspectors on site, making sure that we're doing the things that we're supposed to be doing. And we have personnel full-time dedicated to not only compliance with environmental regulations, but safety regulations. And then you can see here, a big component is on maintenance and the safety component of that. Nearly 500 million components. So every valve, every flange, every connection point in the refinery, someone on a certain frequency is going and trying to detecting to see if there's any leaks or anything else. And one of the things, our folks showed me how they do that, and they brought it into the office, and they're like, this is the wand. They use a wand and they tap it on the valve, and they can test if there's organics coming out of it. And in this conference room, they opened up a Sharpie and the alarm went off, and they said, the Sharpie is over the limit that the regulators allow us to have sensors in the refinery. So just think about that. A Sharpie, opening of a Sharpie is a higher volatility, higher, you can smell it sometimes, right? Sometimes when you open up paint cans, stuff like that, is over the threshold of what we're allowed to have at the refinery. And so, you know, various continuous monitors. The other thing that I'm really proud of is our modernization project that was commissioned back in 2019. So it's been a few years now, but because of that project, it took 10 years to permit, to get through legal challenges and various other permitting challenges. Because of that project, emissions have been reduced in our facility across the board, and most notably, we've seen a 40% reduction in particulate matter emissions. So the fine particulates from the emissions from our source since 2018, since that. That's a huge number. It's a huge reduction in an era where a lot of the emissions have been reduced already. And so by being able to invest in our facility to add new pieces of equipment, every time you add a piece of new equipment, it's just like replacing a water heater or stove in your house. It's more efficient. You buy a new car, it's more efficient, it gets better gas mileage, right? So when we upgrade and we're allowed to get permits to upgrade our facilities, emissions go down. And that's a good thing. The last part I'll cover is the community investment side of it. And when we engage our employees, you know, we have one of the most engaged workforces in the Chevron system. I'll put us up against anybody. You can see some of the numbers. Not only is it with dollars in support of initiatives that our amazing nonprofits in our communities do, but it's with our people. Our people are engaged, and there's a lot of examples right here in North Richmond that really highlight this. Our partnership with CHDC has been strong and long tenured. This senior center is a great example of that dedication. That partnership has existed as long as I've known Chevron and known Richmond. Last year was an amazing event where we dedicated the garden. It shows the people power. I mean, that initiative, along with CHDC, was a couple of Chevron employees that just said, you know, this is something we want to do. And they really drove that project to what it is today. A couple other things I'll mention is the Sustainability Collective here, and also through with CHDC, looking at I'm gonna read my notes so I get it right. Really on trying to address ongoing health challenges and limited access to food. So lots of stuff there, cooking classes, healthy food options. The Clean Slate Project, there was a pilot project that we helped fund. Mostly North Richmond residents with certain requirements. You have record being expunged, rehabilitation, improved access to financial literacy, other life life goals, other ways to improve their life to keep them from going back into the system. And so we're looking to invest again in that pilot program in this year. And the last thing I'll mention is just the annual holiday events that we have with Verde Elementary and the holiday giveaways, the turkeys and other stuff. And that's just the subset of the North Richmond opportunities. We're always looking for more. If you have ideas, you know, feel free to reach out. We're always looking for different ways to show up for this community. I'm gonna one of the common questions we get is around flaring. It's for those of you that don't know what it is, there's a flyer also on a chair that talks a little bit about what a flare is. Flares are probably what I call the most visible part of our safety systems. If you have a water heater at home or a circuit breaker at home, those are all safety systems, right? There's a little valve at the top of your water heater that keeps your water heater from overpressuring. And if it does overpressure, it releases and water comes out, and or garage floor or wherever it is inconvenienced, but the water heater doesn't go boom and through your roof, right? Same with the circuit breaker. You plug in something or a GFCI in your bathroom and it pops. It's an inconvenience, but it was triggered by something, right? And so you have to go and reset the switch and figure out what's going on, but, before, we didn't have those, your house could burn down, right? You had some kind of issue. So the refinery is full of safety systems that trigger because of earthquakes and vibrations to shut things down. Things may overpressure, or pumps may, malfunction. Lots of things can happen when you have thousands of parts of equipment running at the same time. And what happens is if those safety systems are activated, that gas in the refinery system has to go somewhere. And it goes to, under normal circumstances, we're able to collect that and we burn it as a fuel. If for some reason we can't, there's more gas than we can collect, it goes to what's called a flare. And that flare combusts the gas rather than the gas going directly into the atmosphere. When you burn that, it's like a furnace or a car or anything else, you're burning that gas and you're removing a lot of the environmental emissions from that. There are times there is smoke visible, a lot of times there isn't. We've seen both. But what I want to impress upon you today is that we're dedicated, we've been a leader in flare performance before. We had in some recent history, in recent years, we've had some poor performance. And we've made a lot of investment, millions of dollars in investment focus areas. And we're proud that, if you look at over the last year or so, we've had about almost a 50% decrease in flare volume, 80% decrease in flare emissions. So that tells me that even when we do flare, we're flaring shorter and less. And so we're constantly gauging ourselves on that continuous improvement. We're learning from incidences. We're keeping things from malfunctioning. It goes back to that reliability and safety of keeping those systems running at all times. And here's just a few efforts that are specific here in the last year that we've really looked at. New technology. How do we use computers now to say, this is the good, you mix steam and gas and all the things together and you get a cleaner burning flame. And so how can we use technology to keep smoky flares from happening? Increased operator training. Our operators are some of the best in the business, but they can always use a refresher on, hey, keep an eye out on this is how you do this particular operation, so you don't overwhelm the system and cause an incidental flare. We have a dedicated team of professionals from all the different parts of the refinery that are focused on different ways to reduce flare. Hey, can we do this? Let's make a project. Let's figure that out. And what we did here recently was we did an assessment of the last 10 years of flaring activities and all the causes associated with it. And we said, what are the main drivers? Oftentimes, there's not a repeat reason. One thing breaks one day and another thing breaks maybe another day. But sometimes there are. And that's where you see the large volume of money. That's where we said, hey, there's really just a few places we want to focus our energy on, and we're going to invest in that. And that's why we focused on that, and we saw those reductions. And you can see in the green, we have even more projects in the queue that we're working on to further drive that performance. So the other ones are just making sure our infrastructure is up to date. Like I said, when we invest in our facility, when we get those permits, we are putting in new equipment. New equipment tends to perform better than older equipment. If you have old things in your house, eventually your old car, the parts start to become hard to get and people stop servicing them, those types of things. So we're constantly needing to reinvest in our facility. So next couple of slides really talk about some of those projects that we have in the queue. One of which you've probably heard about, which is it's a piece of equipment called a wet gas scrubber. You may have heard that the Air District passed a rule a few years ago that was basically the most stringent particulate matter rule in the world. And it regulates emissions from a particular unit in the refinery. The unit is called a fluid catalytic cracker. What's important to know is that's the gasoline maker of the refinery. That makes a lot of gasoline and enables the bulk of the gasoline that we produce. And so what is a wet gas scrubber? A wet gas scrubber I think it uses water and it kind of cascades down. You have emissions like a tailpipe coming out, and the water trickles down and absorbs the particulate matter that would otherwise go into the air and brings it into the water. And so there's a picture here of one that's in Benicia. And so you can see the plume of steam. All that is steam coming out of that. And so the refinery has an existing steam profile. This will add to that steam profile. But when you see that steam, it means that it's reducing emissions and to meet this most stringent PM limit. Hundreds of millions of dollars in investment to keep this facility running to the betterment of the community and to allow us to continue to operate and make the fuel that people need. So that we've advanced that application. It's with the city of Richmond right now. They're doing their environmental review. We anticipate at the end of this year, there'll be some public meetings to engage the public, to ask for questions, to outline the project. So you'll be hearing more from us, from the city, from others on this project, but it really does nothing else except reduce emissions. It doesn't enable the refinery to do anything else. We're not changing the process. We're just simply putting something on the end pipe to make it cleaner. The second project is a solar project. And so for those of you who've been around a while, the refinery is pretty big, about 3,000 acres. And the main refinery is kind of over here. And then we used to have some operating facilities over here where these boxes are, and they're no longer there. So this area here is where the existing solar array is. And that you see as you go down the parkway on the way to 580. This would add to that. This would power the refinery with solar energy. And it does it in a pretty innovative way. The size of the project is pretty big. It's about the equivalent of 1,500 houses of power use, so not insignificant. And we go to the next slide. The other innovative part about this is it's floating. Half of it is floating. And so we have a lot of retention ponds that have still water that we use to cap old operating units. And then we have some land next to it. And so here you see some of the solar panels that will be similar in design. They'll go on the land side, and then on these retention ponds, the solar panels will actually float on the water. When done, this will be the largest floating solar array in the country. So the way I think about it is you have a bunch of unusable land that is sitting dormant. We can't build anything on it. We can't really repurpose it for anything. And now we're going to be creating renewable energy that will offset the refinery's impact on the electricity grid and allow that electricity to be used by others in the community that need it. We'll go to this slide. So I'll stop there. Happy to answer questions that people have about just about anything you want. So thank you again for letting me speak, and look forward to the next time.
Thank you, Brian. Stand up. Okay, we have a question here in the audience, and then on Zoom. Okay, a young lady in the back. State your name and speak loud enough, even if you want to come a little closer, because we do have people complaining about they can't hear, when.
I'll try to repeat it if you don't want to get up. Okay.
My name's Misha, sorry. I wanted to ask if you can touch on some of the concerns about the future of the refinery. Like, what do you guys know of the, pressures or regulatory pressures, and what separates you from the Misha refinery? Like, what are you guys doing different?
So a question on the regulatory construct and some refineries that have recently announced closures. Yeah, so great question. It's been top of mind. I think for many in the community and certainly many within our industry. And for those that haven't heard, the Valero refinery, actually the picture we showed, announced that they will be closing their Benicia facility in April. And the Phillips 66 refinery in Southern California, not the one here in Rodeo, announced that they will close in October of this year. And so the CEC, the California Energy Commission, estimates that's about 20% of the gasoline supply in California, just between those two facilities. We're about 20% of Northern California. So when you compare our facilities, the size of our facilities, Chevron is about double the size of Valero in Benicia, but we face the same headwinds. Think about it this way: you have one of the most regulated industries, which we have no problem being because that's important. You have a gasoline ban, car ban in effectively 10 years. You have additional state legislation that will cap profits of refineries. You have legislation that is promoting mandatory inventory, so how much gasoline products you hold, as well as the government proposing to take control over maintenance activities, telling us when we can shut down units and perform maintenance. And you also, and so there's a lot of, it's a very capital intensive business. It requires hundreds of millions of dollars of investment every year to continue to run this refinery. Think about your house. And if you owned your house, think about having to pay for your house every 3 years, even if you didn't do anything to it, just to keep your house. Now, if you wanted something new, that's an addition. And so when a company has to make that investment, they have to make a choice. Do we want to, where do you want to spend your hundreds of millions of dollars? Do you want to spend them here in the facility in Richmond or Benicia or anywhere else? Or do you want to invest that money somewhere else where you're going to get a return? So think about it. If it was your money, where would you put it? Would you put it in a bank that's going to charge you a bunch of fees and not give you access to ATMs? Or are you going to put it in a bank that gives you a good interest rate and wants you as a customer? And so some companies are making choices to no longer make that investment. We are committed to Richmond. We want to be here. We've been for over 100 years. We feel like we want to be here. We feel like we need to be here. For all the reasons we just talked about, we're an integral part of this community from an economic standpoint, from an energy standpoint. We're going to be using oil and gas products, liquid fuels for a very long time. That's the reality. We're going to need it all. We're going to need electrons, electricity. We're going to need hydrogen. We're going to need solar panels. We're going to need all those things. But we're also going to need gasoline and jet fuel and diesel fuel. And so we need to make sure we have a path, because if we don't, and we cut off the current energy supply, or the traditional energy that we use today, is no longer available or only available from overseas, that raises costs because now those have to come from other locations. You have, you're more susceptible to price spikes. And so if a refinery goes down, now with 2 refineries going down, 20% of the gasoline supply, if something breaks at one of the existing facilities and that refinery all of a sudden can't make a product, prices adjust, right? Because you have to bring in fuel from the Pacific Rim, Singapore, Korea, other locations. And so it's a very important balancing act that we incentivize the investment in the current infrastructure that we have so that we keep people moving at a reliably and an affordable cost, while also advancing the next generation of energy. And we're committed to that as well. We have carbon sequestration projects in the Gulf and all over the world. We're investing in hydrogen, where large battery electric vehicles are great, especially for light duty passenger cars. They don't work as well for heavy duty vehicles because the battery is so heavy that you almost need twice as many trucks to do the same amount of movement. And so hydrogen offers a great alternative to that because it behaves very similarly to diesel fuel. You have a tank, but it's an electric vehicle. You're not burning the hydrogen, you're using the hydrogen and you're creating electricity with a fuel cell. So there's zero emissions from a hydrogen truck or a hydrogen vehicle. You can also use hydrogen to power large machinery that maybe electricity can't. And so there's a lot of other alternatives, wind, solar, all of it. The wind doesn't always blow and the sun doesn't always shine. And you need a lot of solar to be able to power, like if you look at the power consumption of the refinery, you would basically need to cover the entire West County with solar panels to be able to power the refinery. So massive amounts of energy, and that's just one facility, and all the other industrial facilities and all the other things that make things move requires a lot. So it's an important question. It's a long answer, but you know, we want to be here. There are definite headwinds. We face the same headwinds that other companies do. But we have 2 refineries and some other assets in California. And you may have heard the news that our corporate headquarters is moving, but we're still focused on maintaining our investments in our current facilities, and that includes Richmond. And I hope to be here representing Chevron for a long time in this community because of it.
Thank you. Are there any other questions before we go on? No? Okay.
There was one. There was somebody wanted to know, I thought, and Chevron showed their new report here from the community.
Flaring report. So yeah, actually, one of the things, one thing I didn't mention was the community action plan that we've recently developed with several members of the community. Gave us input. We developed a plan. The plan is on our website. We can share.
I shared it. I shared Richmond.
Chevron.com. Yeah, so if you go to richmond.chevron.com and you go to community plan, I think it's called community action plan. Not only is the plan there, but the other thing we're doing is we're committed to increasing the transparency around the operation. A big part of that is around flaring. So after a flaring event, and a flaring event is something that there's a threshold of with the air district. Within 2 days, we'll have preliminary data on our website, just telling you how long the flare occurred and where, that kind of thing. And then within 30 days, for each flaring event, we do a corrective action investigation. We look at what happened. We try to figure out how to prevent it from happening again, and we make recommendations and we implement those recommendations. That report is available online as soon as it's finished. That's typically within 30 days. So it's 30 days. It's the end of the month after the month that it's in. So like if a flaring happened in July, by the end of August, it would be done. It does take time to do those well. We've shared those. Some of the bigger ones, there's other reports, and those reports are public as well. But I encourage everyone to go to the community action plan and read it. You know, this is part of that initiative, engaging better and more frequently with neighborhood councils and advisory councils, being more transparent about our operations, sharing information in multiple languages. A lot of the materials you have on your chair are recently developed and refreshed, and you'll notice a lot of them are in English and Spanish, and we're working on other languages. There's also going to be a community town hall later this year around air monitoring. A lot of questions about that, especially if there's a flare or just in general, wildfires, anything else going on in the community. There is an independently run, we pay for it, independently run and operated air monitoring system throughout Richmond. Closest one here is the fire station down the street, where you can go for basically real-time air quality data. So there's 3 fence line monitors and then 3 community monitors, one North Richmond, one in Atchison Village, one in Point Richmond at Washington Elementary. RichmondAirMonitoring.org is the website. We're making improvements there. We're gonna have downloadable data. It's currently available for, I think, multiple days or multiple weeks. We're gonna make it for even months now, where you can go back and look. And so I really encourage you to do that. And then the other and this isn't really related to the community action plan, but it's related to flaring and getting the best real-time information. really want to encourage the community to engage or to sign up for the community warning system alerts, county alerts. That's if we're flaring or if something else were to happen at the refinery or any other facility for that matter, not just the refinery, we inform them. That's the first thing one of the first things we do. So before any Facebook posts get put out by my team or anything else, that's the first thing we do. And it can go directly to your phone. So cwsalerts.com. You have to, because we all have cell phones now, no one picks up their landline. You have to register your cell phone. By going to that website, and we can, I think it's in the brochure on flaring. There's two things you kind of have to do. One is cwsalerts.com. So a level 2 or 3, which are the higher ones that actually the county is giving you a health advisory saying do something, whether you're a sensitive individual or general public, that's going to get pushed out to you if you sign up on your phone. Then there's what's called a level 1, which is a lower level, one of the lowest there, and that's an awareness message. Prior to just a few months ago, no one in the community ever got a level 1 notification. It would go to the sheriff, it would go to the various first responders to say, hey, there's a flare going on at the refinery, but there's no action. And the reason why you never got a notice is because there was no action necessary, but people would look up and they'd see something and be very concerned. And so the county heard that, we heard that, and what they did was they created a new notification process, and it's a little clunky because you have to go to a different system, but there's a number you can text. If you text CC Health to 21423, you will get put onto a list that will send you all level 1 notifications in the county, if you so desire. And basically what it says is, in the event that we had a level 1 flaring at our facility, you would receive a text message that says, Chevron is reporting flaring at their activity, click here for more information. Basically to tell you it's flaring, or if something else happened, like there was a spill or something else, it would tell you. It'll also tell you that it may be seen, heard, or smelled, but there's no action necessary. If for some reason it elevated to the next level, you would get an additional notification for that. Those notifications aren't necessarily for everybody. Some people don't want them, and that's why it's somewhat separate. But because there's no action necessary, you have to go there. So on this fast facts piece of paper, it tells you under level 1 and to level 3 how to sign up for those. That's the best way to get the quickest information on.
And Brian, for the CC Health one, that's all refineries, right? Not just.
It's the entire county, so not just refineries, but yes, so unfortunately, the CWS alerts, because there's action, the county says, okay, it's happening in Richmond, we're only gonna notify the people in Richmond. Or in the event there was the fire in February in Martinez, if you were signed up, you didn't get the alert here in Richmond because the alert went out in Martinez. For level 1, there's no delineation. So if something happens in Antioch, you would get a text message. It would say in Antioch, and you can choose to ignore it. But yes, it's the entire county.
So now we do have one question and one raised hand.
Okay.
The question is, the Chevron keep data on the health impacts on the community? No.
Okay, could you read it out a little louder?
Does Chevron keep data on the health impacts on the community?
I think the short answer to that is no. County health has a lot of health metrics on community. I'm not aware of any data that shows, correlation between refinery and specific health impacts. Health is a tricky, multifaceted puzzle, right? A lot of things impact an individual's health. External environment is one of them, but your ancestry, the house you live in, your health, the food you eat, the access to the food you eat, the access to healthcare. All those things kind of factor into that. And so the health professionals at the county are probably the best.
Okay, and then there's one hand raised.
Mhm.
Steve Bradley.
Can you unmute him or?
Yes, sir. I did have a specific question. I understand Chevron's role as how they are a specific like community stakeholder just based on proximity. But I was wondering if you could touch a little bit on the significance if you guys leave or not. Like I guess the impact I'm trying to figure out is that with you guys being a part of the community, if you were to leave, is there a trajectory of kind of like what that looks like or the impact of what that would mean for the community? I know you want to stay, but I was wondering if you had any insight on that.
I think the best insight is the economic report that we just had commissioned that we were talking about earlier in the presentation. You know, the facility is responsible for over $1 billion a year in economic activity and close to 3,000 jobs on sites and 1 in 29 jobs in the county. So if we stop operations, you know, a lot of that work goes away, right? A lot of that activity, if not all of it, goes away. Whether it's through taxes or other contributions or commitments or business relationships, I think that's probably your best indicator.
Okay, and just as a closing follow-up question to that, is there any statistical or economic data that supports or kind of has laid out how many of those jobs have been allocated towards members of the community that serves this area?
You know, that's a tough metric. You know, you can pull data on Richmond residents working in the refinery or West County residents, and as soon as you print it, it's wrong because people move and change locations and families get bigger and they have to either move out of the area or maybe they move into the area. So the short answer is no, not really. I think roughly rule of thumb is about 20% of our workforce lives in West County. But all of us work here and eat lunch here and bring our kids here, you know, for recreation or otherwise. And you know, a great majority of us, you know, volunteer and do our extracurricular activities here in Richmond. And so I haven't met anyone that works at the facility that isn't somehow engaged in the community, even if they don't live here.
And if I may, just for the caller, that was one of the things that that Brian did highlight on was the impact for West County. And he mentioned the economics of the 1.1 billion total for the economic impact for West County. He also mentioned a direct and an indirect jobs that supported, which was 3,830 to say. And also, as far as jobs in the community, one of the things I know for a fact, and this goes back with Fred Jackson, he was working with Neighbor House, and one of his things was the go-to for jobs for Chevron. And he had that set up for looking for jobs, different jobs that were available. I know when I came back to work from the public sector, that I met with Fred, he heard that I was back, and one of the jobs that he introduced for me to look was the engineering job that they had available coming back from San Jose, working with engineering and in engineering, quality control. So as far as a first source hiring, that is in place here and it's been there for years, as I can say, for years. And I have this baby here that is very instrumental with jobs that was part of the outreach and working with Neighborhood House, and we being a receptacle of monies to support our endeavors here at the senior center and in other endeavors. So very, very well connected in the economic piece of North Richmond, and to give back, been very instrumental of doing that. So I just wanted to kind of throw that out, and we're gonna have to keep moving, but you know, we do take your comments and questions at heart, and we appreciate it. We have one more question. I hope we got one more here, because you are the only that's gonna be presented. So we're gonna be getting out here early. I don't wanna rush nobody.
Can I maybe add to your amazing point, so just around that, talk a little bit about
Okay.
how we work, but, the investments we make in the community are really focused here, and so whether it's the regional occupational program where we're training, for the next operators, or
And the training.
the high school, job fairs, the Kennedy Welding Lab, various other engagements we have in West Contra Costa County School District, as well as the area. We're focused on providing that, not only the economic development, but the job skills, the STEM education to this community, so that they can be successful in getting jobs at our place or just about anywhere.
And the revitalization, that's the name, kind of old, but the revitalization that we did, for years, the task force that we run with the late Dr. Clark and Andrea, and it was a team of 35 of us looking at the revitalization of North Richmond. That was the action plan that took, I guess, 15 years ago, and now you can see the fruits from that for right now. So we're gonna let our council person keep us speak, and then we're gonna keep it moving. And anybody else got some chat? At this point, we're gonna have to kind of shut them back by, texting them back. All right.
So, my question is about the 1.1 billion. I know that there are organizations that do not accept money from you because the values of the organization don't align, concerning like environmental impacts and health of the community. So this 1.1 billion though, for those that do accept your investment, how much of that 1.1 billion, what is the number for North Richmond?
I think I know that off the top of my head.
We can find it.
It's in from an investment in nonprofits over the last several years, it's in tens of millions of dollars in direct support for that. That number is a mix of taxes, other payments, charitable contributions, as well as, business activity. And so it's kind of a mix of all of that, but
This is over what time period?
it's 1 year. So the report itself, all the numbers on that slide and in the report are based off of 2022.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Thanks for having us. For those in the room, I'm happy to stick around a little bit and get.
Okay, so Brian is sticking around, okay?
Keep moving, keep moving.
Okay, all right. Oh, everybody's so happy tonight, getting ready for our, whatever holiday you wanna call it, they wanna get to it. So we're gonna start with our community agency report. Please, okay, look, it's a quarter after 6. We're gonna get out of here at 7 o'clock or 6:45, okay? It's a quarter after, we shut down at 7, okay? So if you all can please hold it down. Wait a minute, let me do my math here. Okay, 3 minutes times 5, that's 15 minutes, okay, that's 6:30. Okay, 2 minutes. Y'all ain't playing with y'all, okay, I did it with long with it, okay? All right, so our first one is, the city of Richmond, you're on Zoom? Jessica. Jessica?
That's just me? Oh, that's me?
Oh, that's you.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
No report response, everything's fine.
well, that's your heart, okay?
Back in my minutes.
Thank you, okay, thank you.
Yeah. Take my
No
heart.
hard feelings, no hard feelings, okay. Okay, you're next, Tanya.
Yeah, I'll be quick. So there is a backpack giveaway event at Shields Reed, and this one is August 16th. It's a Saturday from 1 to 4:30 p.m. at Shields Reed, and it's a back to school book bag giveaway. So that's it.
Oh, thank you, ma'am. Okay, next. Okay, you had a question, Jane? You was around, come on now, she got 2 minutes, you got 2 minutes to ask this question.
No, I just was saying that, next week, the North Richmond Blues Festival.
How can I forget? The North Richmond Music Festival is next week. And we are gonna do a ribbon cutting. So it's really exciting for Jimmy McCracklin. He was a homegrown North Richmond artist who ended up going global and won some awards. And he's really known for a song called The Walk. Don't ask me how it goes, but it's really exciting. And this is something that's been in the works for many years, and we finally picked the street. So West Grove is gonna turn into Jimmy McCracklin Way. So the ribbon cutting is at 10 a.m. on Saturday next week on the corner right there of First and what is formerly now known as West Grove. And so that's at 10 a.m. And then at 12 p.m. the festival will be on the street because Shields Reed Center is going through the renovation, so they're gonna close down a part of Chesley right there on Garamita, 5th and 6th. So that little strip of the street will be closed, and that's where the festival, the music and the food vendors and the booths and all of that is still gonna happen. And that's gonna be next week, July 12th. Yeah.
Oh, this is Cynthia Jordan. I don't know how to raise my hand today, but Tanya didn't say who was sponsoring the backpack, which is changed for 500. And pertaining to the music festival, I'm a 14-year committee member for the festival, and it's going to be a great time. Thank you.
Thank you, Cynthia.
You're welcome.
Everybody keep their ears. Oh, okay, but we need to. Okay, community housing, okay, we have, our housing authority, Tony, are you on?
I am on, but I'm going to turn over the reins to B. Coleman, our fellow from the Partnership for the Bays featured for tonight's update.
Yeah, thanks y'all. Thanks, Tony. I was trying to give Tony a break. He's out here on the East Coast, still on West Coast meeting time. So thanks, Tony. But the Housing Authority is moving through our Los Deltas process. We're pretty close, maybe a week or so out from closing on the first market rate transaction. And that's pretty exciting, potentially with a former resident there from Los Deltas, and also have received about 5 or so letters of interest in the market rate sales from various members of the North Richmond community, some family groups, and some other folks who are interested and made in trying to get the best chance that they can get. We're also trying to get on the calendar and have a meeting with our attorney to keep working through the exclusive negotiation agreement with CHDC on the main campus. So that's very exciting. And then you all also heard earlier that there are wait lists opening up. So there are about 16 wait lists that have opened actually as of yesterday, and it is correct that they'll be open until the 24th of July. So I have some flyers for those that I can make available so we can share them in the chat. But yeah, that's about what we have. Again, is open exclusively for folks who are either from Los Deltas or the North Richmond community. We won't be looking at any other offers outside of those 2 groups starting August 1st. And then they have until October 10th that they'll be the only folks who can make offers. And then August 2nd, we're having our buyback the Jets, as well as block party that'll be happening on August 2nd from 12 to 5.
Okay, I'm sorry to say this, and we don't need you to go through all of, but your last, I put it
There's
like
a
this.
flyer, we can share that in the chat as well as a registration. But really hope to see you guys out there.
Yeah, I think you broke up there when you were announcing the August 2nd event.
Yeah, so you let her know she broke it up, and people are being confused in here. I'm really here and on Zoom. We kind of missed out what she was saying, we got a little gibberish here and there, so I don't need her to go a whole 10 minutes. I just need her to just reiterate the last part what she was saying, that paragraph. I know it's written down, that last paragraph. If she can expound on that. Other than that, we're gonna have to put it in the chat, and we're gonna have to get back with you, Tony, with that information to go online, okay? Hello?
Sure. Does this sound better? Is that more clear? We'll keep going. Is it still breaking up?
No, you're doing fine. If you can kind of go back that last paragraph when you
Sure.
spoke, whatever.
Yes, the last part was that we are having a homeownership resource fair for Los Deltas and block party on August 2nd on Silver Avenue outside of the Corinne Sane Senior Center. On that block between 5th and Garamita, August 2nd from 12 to 5. So folks will be able to talk to the developers directly, and we'll also have some lenders and realtors out there so they can have some conversation and try to get more prepared for that opportunity. And we're also going to be starting a monthly office hours service for folks to also be able to come and talk to people, but we'll make that information available on August 2nd. And that's all I got.
Wonderful. Everybody shaking their head. Thank you. Wonderful. Very clear.
Yeah, I have a question. I'm sorry. So I want to know, I know that the event that, Deshaun brought up, so the lender event on the 2nd, that's right after, because you all are opening the offers on August 1st, right? So is there still priority after August 1st? Because the event is after you all are opening the offers for, the group that you're prioritizing.
So I'll explain that a little better. The offer period for the groups is till October 10th, but the Housing Authority is not going to start reviewing offers until August 1st, so that if there is anybody in the first or second group who feels able to make an offer, we still want to try to give our first group an opportunity to make an offer within that period. So that's why we're giving until August 1st to even start reviewing them. But the offer period is actually until October 10th. So yes, we will be still taking offers after the August 2nd event. Does that make sense?
Yes. Thank you so very much for your report. Next, CHDC.
Well, I think someone has a question.
Who had a question?
Question.
Okay, wait a minute. Okay, yeah, okay, well, so everybody can hear you. You wait back,
Okay.
back so they
I
can
got
hear you.
So,
Okay.
I just wanted to clarify, so considering that the bids are gonna be open August 1st, it appears that the priority residents have until October 10th. In the event that, let's say, residents are not, ready at that point, is there any conversation or anything for you guys to extend the dates? To give them more time to get prepared, because you're giving them 3 months to figure out, like, work on credit, like, what, I mean, that's gonna be very hard.
Oh, no, it's not. The preparation started last year.
Well, 2 years ago.
Yeah, the
Maybe a while
preparation,
ago.
this conversation has been going on for a long time. And to open up, once it was taken care of as far as the demolishing and to have someone to be really pointed, assigned to have, whatever to have done and to look at the distribution of the scatter sites, that was known. and it was offered to individuals, and we used the same strategy as we used for Easter Hill. When Easter Hill was demolished and changed over, we gave everybody at least 2 years to prepare. And the 2 years to prepare, if you had a household of individual adults that were in the home, they had an opportunity to come back and go to school or get some type of trade in order to offset that cost. Because you're no longer gonna be paying a low cost, you're gonna be looking at something like moderate income to pay for those places. So at that time, you would have to put your money together in order to afford, it was affordable. So it's about planning. So it's not just in the last 3 months, jump to it, it's a plan, it was a planning section for the individuals, if they were really interested, that they would look at it to plan ahead in order to afford.
So let me clarify the planning that I'm speaking of. So
Okay.
the low market value homes that you guys are putting out here, right, for the low market value that require rehab and a bunch of other work. Considering kind of the economy, what's going on in America, there are some challenges there with that piece. So what I'm asking is, if you're giving first preference to residents that are displaced,
Right.
and then maybe clarify this for me too.
Okay.
The second one was like residents that live in the community and people that work in the community. How are they considered, like, is there a first, second priority within that group? Meaning people that live in the community are first and people that work in the community are second, or how are you guys?
It's listed just as you read it.
So
But
that,
yeah, it's North Richmond residence is listed exactly how it's listed. The North Richmond residence has first dibs on coming back into North Richmond. If they have been relocated, they have first dibs to come back. Secondly, still North Richmond residents, if they live here or if they work here, if they are interested, this North Richmond is to build the community, sustain the community. Not for anybody to come in and invest for 5 years and disappear. It's about building a healthy community. So they're looking at people that want to come back and reside here in North Richmond. After that category has been closed, it's offering to anyone else. Other than, not investors yet, not investors. The last line is the investors to come in. But it's the offer for people that want to come back, families that want to come back and build a community for sustainability. Joanna, CACC is here, along with my other colleagues with CACC. If you want to expand on that, and also we have Jane here. So I hope I explained it correctly. If I didn't, correct me, because I am under the board. So I want to make sure I'm correct on it, okay? I don't want to give nobody the wrong information, but the information went out. Tony sent the information, Housing Authority sent the information out, and it was categorized. Whatever it said, those categories, it is exactly what it says. There's nothing added to it, anything taken away. It is exactly what it said. And another thing surprising, we were looking at that amount, that $320,000, that $200,000. It is whatever you qualify for. Whatever you qualify to purchase is to purchase. But you still have to have money in your pocket to do the remodeling. See, that's another caveat people are not looking at. And I don't want to be preaching to the choir. I'm pretty sure everybody got that information. But you see, if you qualify to buy, sure enough buy it. But you still have to have money to remodel. That caveat, you got 2 years to get it together. One of the things, if you don't, and it says idle, they will take it back. Correct? Okay? So you gotta be ready. So it's about preparation and preparing, and people had 2 years to look at it. They knew what was coming up, and if they were serious about it, they had things lined it up. Okay? I hope I answered your question, dear.
I have more, but due to time, we'll wait.
Yeah, okay, so after me and you talk, I have my staff here, and they're the experts. Jane is the expert, our lead project manager for development is sitting right behind Jane, and she's shy, but she got a good information. She got a real information, and we have to do it. Got one of the experts, we don't see for a long time, so they very, you know, they very equipped to answer questions, and then anything that we can answer, we can go to Tony. Okay, so I don't wanna hold up anymore, but, yeah, but offline, you could talk with them. CACC.
No, yeah.
Oh. Oh, I had questions on too, I'm sorry, who is it?
I see, B and T Bradley, I think has some follow-up to the housing authority.
Okay, but Tony, are you still there? Tony and.
I'm still here too.
Okay, so briefly, I think someone wants to speak. Is it to him?
Well, there's no B and then T Bradley had their hands up. I don't know if they wanted to say something quickly.
Okay, let's hear.
Yeah, I think T's hand was up first, but I will just chime in to say that, you know, to the speaker's point, it is going to be a challenging opportunity if folks aren't ready right now for the market rate sales, and that there are other opportunities coming down the line. We do have several affordable homeownership opportunities that will be coming with the main campus development down a few years from now. So as far as what you were saying earlier, that there is a necessity for folks to have time to get ready. And if we're not ready yet, that the market rate sales might not be the best opportunity, but there are, you know, to your point, the BMRs that are coming with the 4 developers as well as the main campus in a few years. So these aren't the only opportunity, but we're still trying to create space for there to be a space for those preferred groups to make offers. So
Thank you. Anybody else? That is?
That's it.
Okay, we're good. Okay, so you had any,
No,
anything? Nothing to report? Okay, and Janine, you had nothing?
Yes, I'm gonna get up and.
Okay.
About
Please,
10, 15 things in my
So, Janine, you can come forward. No, yeah. So they can hear you. So we moving, we going real quick. We only got 3 more left.
Okay, so just real quick, you know, we had the Willie Spears Community Cleanup Day, and it was really, really well attended and everything. So the big idea that we came up with, the mitigation team, was, wow, these people are showing us their IDs and their utility bills in order to dump trash. Oh my God, disposable vouchers. We got 52 applications for disposable vouchers. And I am still pre-screening them, but currently for the month of June, 17 households, 408 disposable vouchers are been distributed. So we're following up. We have a Spanish volunteers actually following up and making the phone calls on a weekly basis. So if we could really get 52 people to get these vouchers, that would be great. So that's all I have to report. I'm just excited about that. Oh, so Miss Janie trained me in this area. Yeah, come on, Miss Janie. Come on, Miss Janie. Yeah, come on. Come on, she started this program. She spearheaded this program. So disposable vouchers is part of the mitigation waste fund with the city and the county, and we with Republic Services. So what it is that the residents who live in North Richmond is for any household, any apartment building, anyone in North Richmond, to show their ID, utility bill, phone bill, water bill, then they're able to receive $120 worth of disposable vouchers, which are valued at $5 each. And they have 6 months from the time that I give them the voucher to redeem the voucher at the dump. Is that right, Ms. Jenny?
That's correct.
That's correct? Okay. And they can apply once a year. Yep, that's it.
Okay. I'm going to off the stage. Well, I got some more. Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay, we only got 3 more to go. Okay, you're doing really well. 3 more to go. Okay, Urban Hill. Councilman Lucia.
Okay. So we are, the North Richmond Farm, as you probably know, is at, 323 Brookside Drive. We have 10 acres there, currently working on 3 of the 10 acres. I wanted to share just briefly the mission. We have a lot of young people running different things there. So our actual mission is to inspire, hire, and train local residents to cultivate agriculture, feed our community, and restore relationships with land, to build a more sustainable food system within a just and healthier community. So we have, currently we have young people. We just started our, the summer, youth apprenticeship program. We have it every year. So the, farm is filled with a lot of young people. On a, one of our teams is at the community resource center, just so, yeah, so that there isn't so much congestion. So we appreciate the community resource center for allowing that team to be there. Let's see, we're going to be at the music festival. We were at the community awareness day. Let's see, construction, we have a construction project going on. Is looking really good. We're still, that 92 million that the administration is kind of holding, is an issue, but, we have the foundation laid for the main barn and the community room. Let's see, we have if you were there for Dr. King Day, there was a lot of gravel, but now we have 13 pavers in the Dr. Clark Plaza and along the History Walk. And we have the free farm stands every week, every Thursday at 2 o'clock. The benefit with Laughlin, it's having their, we did an ad in your book for, their 100th anniversary, so you'll see our ad there. And also, we have all the training that we do is paid, so the apprentices, the young apprentices are being paid, the fellows are being paid, so, it's a good, yeah, I think we're doing a good job in the community. I see we have Cheryl, she's on, the watershed team, the engagement from watershed team. Would you like to share?
Sure, we, as Latifah mentioned, we have a whole bunch of training programs.
Okay, you can speak up. See, she was right here loud enough, but you gotta get right to it.
You want me to go up there?
Yeah.
All right. I got you. I can do it in this, don't worry. All right, everybody, hi. I'm Cheryl. I'm with the watershed programs in at Urban South. And I just wanted to expand a little bit on some of the training programs that we have at Urban South that Latifah kind of brought up. Our summer youth apprenticeship started on Monday. This invites all of our West Contra Costa youth to the farm to join the wide variety of programs at Urban South and do training. These are all paid training programs, as well as our Rudy Lazito Fellowship, which is as well another training program where they get trained and certified in permaculture and agriculture. And then coming up, we do have another training program with my team. It's called the Basins of Relations. It's going to be as well another paid training program that'll be a little bit more focused on, water stewardship and water restoration. Our watershed field crew does a lot of work out back here at San Pablo Creek and at Wildcat Creek and doing a lot of work on that. So that application will be opening up sometime at the end of July. And it'll most likely start at the beginning of September, if I'm correct. And that's it. The ages for the Basins of Relations training program is going to be from 18 and above. The summer youth apprenticeship is for ages 14 to 18, and then the fellowship is as well 18 and above.
And if I can add real quick and correct me, I think I read the internship is, you're looking at, they get paid, they do 100 hours?
Yes.
They do 100 hours, and at the end of the 100 hours is $1,500?
Yes.
Okay, I got that right, that's enough. Okay. Okay, I'm just trying to get y'all out here early. Okay. Shield Street, is Marina on? Vice Chair sitting here, because I don't have anything to report out, but we can, okay. Richmond Land. Is Princess on it? Okay, Princess,
I see Princess and Dylan.
Dylan,
Hey y'all, I'm here. Yeah, I'll give y'all a quick update for Richmond Land. I appreciate y'all's time and not to keep y'all too late. So we're doing a lot of good work in the community. We actually just finished a deck rebuild project on one of our two community land trust projects on South 24th Street. We successfully moved relocated the residents that live at that building while we did that rebuild and are successfully transferring them back in. Along with that, we are participating in the Los Deltas renovation project along with the other developers. Our flagship development is the North Richmond Eco Village over on 1925 Garamita Street. And kind of as B mentioned, that is our development is a little bit further out than some of the other developers. So just stay locked in with us, join as a member, or just fill out the Los Deltas interest form so we can tap in with you and see if that would be a fit for your housing needs. Most pressing, I'd like to announce the Buy Back the Jets Community Housing Resource Fair and Block Party. It is a community-led housing resource event happening right here in North Richmond on Silver Ave. B mentioned it earlier, but I know the connection wasn't so great, so hopefully y'all get a little bit more about it. I dropped all the info in the chat. It was a project that was actually led by Deshaun Goodwin. He came out in collaboration with us at Richmond Land, as well as the other developers, to invite the community out to raise awareness around the affordable housing opportunities there. So there's a RSVP link and a flyer in the chat right now. Go ahead and hit that RSVP link. There will be food out there for the community. There'll be music and local performers. There will be the housing resource fair with the developers. There will also be youth activities, and we are also doing a backpack giveaway with school supplies for our students returning to school later that month. So come out August 2nd. We really appreciate y'all's time and tap in with us. Like I said, join our membership and keep an eye out for all our membership invitations to member meetings and other ways to get involved with us.
okay, love you. The next time come in person, you stay right on time.
No, I got you. I got you. I will be there in person next time.
Yeah, I'm inviting you back. And you better
Yes,
come.
ma'am.
Okay, well, I guess we made it. Okay, I think we made it, So with that, happy 4th of July, however you wanna call it, Freedom Day, do whatever you wanna do, enjoy yourself 3-day weekend. We're gonna be meeting again August the 5th at 5 o'clock. I think y'all want me to be the chair. Well, my chair will be back. I'm vice chair. Okay? But with that, we're gonna adjourn the meeting and thank you so much for coming out, okay? I hope I didn't